welcome to Gen Z Finance. I'm an older Gen Z on the cusp of being a young millennial, documenting my financial journey here on YouTube and Instagram. Go follow me at Zennial Finance. And if you haven't yet already, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and maybe leave me a comment while you're watching as well. That would be super dope. Before we start this video, I did just want to acknowledge that today is actually the 1 year anniversary of my first video on this channel. I posted my first video, actually my first 1, 2, 3 videos on April 23rd of last year. This is when I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. These videos were not good at all, but I did want to acknowledge the milestone and thank you all so much for watching my videos for the past year now. And to celebrate that, I did want to say, please check out my community page of my channel. There is a post where I am asking y'all for any of your questions. So if you have any questions about me or money or finance or YNAB and budgeting, leave me a comment on that post and I will compile the list of them and do a video with all of my answers probably next month in May. Okay, let's get into the video. So today's video is actually going to be a couple things. I've decided I think I'm going to try to include my part-time job paychecks. I get those on alternating weeks from when I get my full-time job paychecks, and that's usually the only thing I budget on screen inside of YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget. That's what you see here. If you're interested in trying it out, there's always a link to the 34-day free trial down, but I usually don't show my part-time job paychecks just because usually so small, it's just not worth it. I'm just going to combine them. So we're going to enter in my paycheck that I got today. I'm going to enter now. It was for 12 hours and it was $124.77. Again, it's super small, but it's money. I'm not going to complain. And let's turn on solo mode. I usually never use this little solo mode, which is a feature from Toolkit for YNAB Chrome extension, but I have it. And so let's try it. And let's also turn on the progress bars. So the first thing I always do is I come down to my sinking funds and I always set aside 8% of all of my miscellaneous or part-time job paychecks for taxes. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is actually jump into May and come over to my brokerage category. For the month of May, I'm going to try to send $300 to my brokerage. There's already $150 from my last check, and let's do another $50 in here. Let's jump back to April and let's check in on my spending so far in the month, because one of my goals for Q2 is to send an additional 15% of all of my spending for the month into this brokerage line item, and that's on top of my normal $100 every other week. So the last time I updated this category was on April 8th, and that was my spending then was $609.40 for the month. So let's go to reports. So my spending so far in April is $681.69. So I'm going to add that here. And if I pull out my calculator and do 681.69 times 0.15, that would equal 102.25. So I need to budget another $225 to cover my spending for this week. And then just to kind of cover my butt for the rest of the month, let's just bump this up to $110. The other thing I want to do before we budget out this $54.79 is I actually want to create a new category, and this is going to be called travel and trips. And I need to add a calendar icon because this is going to be a group that is funded 1 month in advance. So all of the master groups that have a calendar in there, those are always funded in the next month. And then it's also going to have a bang emoji. And that just means that the majority of this money is probably always going to be in a savings account instead of like my checking account. Okay, so underneath my winter's coming or sinking funds, you can see I actually have this category travel and trips, and this is where I budget and fund any upcoming travel or trips. Pretty self-explanatory. And I've been tracking all of my transactions in this category as well, but I actually think I want to get a little bit of a better idea of what I'm actually spending my travel money on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up into the travel and trips, and this is still going to be the main category where I budget and fund for any upcoming travel, but I'm going to add a couple of new categories under this. So hold on one moment.
Okay, so let me reorder all of this.
So now I just created these 4 categories that I think are like the main 4 categories that you're going to have whenever you are doing or whenever you're traveling. So whenever I go on a trip, when I have a transaction, I'm actually going to track the cost of that transaction in the appropriate subcategory instead of keeping it under this travel and trips. And then I'll move the money from my travel and trips to this. And the great thing about YNAB is if I try this out and I decide I actually don't like this, I can just delete these new categories and move all of the transactions associated with these categories back up to this travel and trips, and then move this back to underneath my sinking funds. But I think I'm going to like this new setup. So I wanted to do that. So I put now I'm just trying to go through and think where I want to put this money. Maybe I'll put $10 into my B-Day. My birthday is next month in May. I'm a Taurus. Go Tauruses. We are the best sign. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So now I have $150 in that category. The next weekend is my other friend's birthday. I'm gonna be visiting her. So I think I'll just put the $45 into travel and trips to kind of help with that. That leaves me 78 cents, and that's gonna go to holding. Okay, so that is everything for my part-time job paycheck. So stick with me for a couple seconds. Okay, I am back with my full-time job paycheck. You can see it up here in To Be Budgeted. And I did want to mention is if you have keen eyes, you might have noticed that this monthly varied living section has changed from just the last time you saw it just a couple of seconds ago. I won't really go into it, but I did just want to say if you are interested in why I changed things up and how I changed things up, I will link a video where I actually posted my entire process up here, so you can go ahead and watch that. But with this paycheck, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip into May, and we're going to finish funding May. But the first thing I need to do is take care of the bills to my mom. So I'll put another $200 in there, and that is fully funded. All of my monthly varied living is funded. I need to do $50 into my family giving category. I need to do $250 into my Roth IRA, so that is fully funded for next month, and this needs $100 more as well. And I just toggled on that progress bars feature because I actually really do like to use it when I'm budgeting. Next, electronics will get $15 and travel and trips will get $150. I need to fund my personal care / beauty category, and then underneath subscriptions, I think I need to cover all of these, so that's going to be $32.06. And then I do still have this travel and trips category that we just made. I do still have this here, but I did move the general category back under sinking funds, at least for now, since I'm not having any activity under the specific costs as of yet. So I think I'll just keep this travel and trips mostly closed and down here at the bottom because I won't need to look at it. I only really need to look at it when I'm on a trip. So I think that is everything I need to do in May. Let's jump back into April. You can see here I do have some overspending already in this toiletries category, and I'm actually going to cover this not with To Be Budgeted but with other / miscellaneous. Okay, so that takes care of that. Next, let's check in on my spending report. As of now, I've spent $789.79. Okay, so we'll add that here. And again, I will pull out a calculator. Times 0.15 is 118.46. So I need to change this goal to 118.46. That is now how much I need to have in there. And I will come back to this in a second. I'll fund that. But first, I want to come down to savings and fund the $200 a month into my car replacement category. So that leaves me $43.83. Now we can come back up here and just fund this with another $10. So that's at $120. And then I will be getting one more part-time job paycheck next week for April. So I'll make sure to set aside some of that paycheck to cover whatever more spending I do in the month. Okay, so that leaves me $33.83. Okay, I did want to just fund this with another $5 to get that to an even number. Let's put another $2 into random acts of kindness so that that's up to 25 instead of that like weird 23. And then let's move like this 80 cents out up to Be Budgeted just so that's all even numbers now. All right, I think I will just put the last of this $27.63 all into holding. All right, thank you all so much for watching this budget with me. If you have not yet already, please like this video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and leave me a comment down below. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I hope y'all are staying safe and healthy and that you have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.